let's get to this main event. Let's start with the main event of AEW Full Gear. Jon Moxley, leader of the Death Riders, the plain white tees, taking over AEW, these toughies in their pickup truck, which, after what Darby Allin did, they're going to have to get a new pickup truck. But so this match was exactly how I thought it was going to go. Moxley just beating Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy came out of the gate. The babyface shine took place in the beginning of the match. 3 Superman punches right out of the gate. I'm thinking, as these are going down, I'm like, yes, let's do this. Screw this whole angle. Let's go. 3 Superman punches, new world champ. No, didn't happen like that. So Moxley, Orange Cassidy got the early offense, stunning Moxley. And then Moxley kind of came back to just basically bludgeon him. Of course, I'm watching this one in my living room. This is the time of night that my 5-year-old daughter decides to kind of come out of her room, wander the living room, trying to explain to her that, like, you know, it's fake. They're fake fighting. It's like a play. And then it's the literal scene where they're like back scratching, and you can see the finger marks, the bloody, dirty finger marks of Moxley going down Orange. And even my daughter's just like, ooh. I was like, yeah, no, maybe leave the room.
You're like, it's ketchup.
Yeah. I was thinking, what can I say besides it's ketchup? And I couldn't say anything, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So, yep, Orange was all bloody. When I did tell my daughter that she should leave the room, you know what her response was? She said, I went to wrestling.
Good point.
She did. She went to the Collision where we had the bunkhouse brawl.
Listen, if she can handle, that's true. I forgot about that, but I was going to say, if she can handle the amount of sweat coming off of Dax in that main event, she can handle a little blood.
So back to Full Gear. Moxley eventually beats Orange Cassidy via shenanigans. The Death Riders come out. Pac, who's always in full gear. These guys are wearing like jeans, t-shirts, boots, tough guy stuff. Pac, full wrestling gear. Tights, armbands, wrestling boots. It's a little weird.
Just in case.
But it does fit Pac, you know. Like, he still looks like a tough guy in his wrestling gear.
Yeah. So,
ultimately, Moxley finishes off Orange Cassidy. And there was this was overbooked when Wheeler Yuta came in, to me. Okay? And that was in the beginning, basically, of the end. So Wheeler Yuta comes in, hits Orange with the Busaiku knee. Thanks, Wheeler. And thanks Brian for teaching him that one. After his murdered master, who's no longer with us, Bryan Danielson.
Yes.
Retired Bryan Danielson. Convalescing Bryan Danielson.
Retired from breathing.
Yeah, exactly. He retired from breathing air. So, Wheeler Yuta comes in, hits him with the Busaiku knee. Moxley gets the win. And then Hangman is just there all of a sudden. I rewatched this. Hangman is limping down. First of all, on this show, lots of limb work. So I know you're probably a fan of that, Kris.
Yes.
But every person hears on this show, their knee, they're like going to their knee doctor. They're orthopedic about their knee. Wow. Because everyone was selling their knees. Like, Hangman comes out at the end of the pay-per-view with a chair, and he's super limping, right? You didn't even need to limp that much. Like, I don't think people remember, like, okay, Hangman's knee was pretty busted up in that match. Just generally speaking, he limped to the extent that it kind of hindered the proceedings here. Unless he was legitimately hurt, in which case, sorry. But he comes out with the chair, faces off with Moxley. And as he's facing off with Moxley, first of all, Moxley looked like an insane person ready to take on all comers. Okay? He just defended his world championship. He just had a grueling battle. And he's just ready for more right here with Hangman. He's even telling Hangman, think this through, if you watch what they're saying.
I love it.
And then, obviously, sneaking up behind Jon Moxley, we had the future world champion, Christian Cage, with this dented contract in a case. Hangman, they're taking forever. Hangman's like, are you going to give me the first shot? I just really trying to come up with a reason why would Hangman be so willing to help Christian, because Hangman is a betweener of being a babyface and a heel, but not so much that he wants to help a guy like Christian, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we got to kind of have a reason. Why am I helping you? Well, because you're going to give me the first shot, right? Christian's like, yeah. Well, why would you ever trust Christian Cage? A word out of his mouth, for one. You know? And he says, yeah, I'll give you the first shot. So, but then Jay White comes in. Well, Christian hits Moxley with the unprettier kill switch. Well, so it's the unprettier when Chelsea Green does it. But it's a kill switch now when Christian does it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Moxley's just laying there for a while off of one kill switch. Just Moxley got just duffed off one kill switch, just like was his brain made of soft cheese, and you just go boop, and he's just lights out.
Well, it's the 3 Superman punches earlier.
I guess, him up. Yeah, exactly. It's just softened him up, right, for this knockout shot. Lights out for Moxley. He's just laying there. So, but then, as Christian is kind of like telling the referee, like, willy won't he, yes, before he could cash in that contract, Jay White comes out. Oh, because Jay White doesn't like Christian, the commentary reminds us. And Jay White attacks Christian. Okay? Christian flurries out, papers flying out of the ring. And now Jay White is in the ring. And then and Moxley is already gone. And the Death Riders, Claudio comes in and attacks him, Jay White, and Pac. And then now Moxley's leaving. Like, nobody's getting a title shot now. Moxley's gone. And Jay White's alone in the ring. And then, excuse me. So then, Moxley and crew hustle out of the building. They're going to their truck. And then, car accident right before our very eyes. Smash. Truck is smashed by a car that the first time I saw it, I saw just like designs on the car, and I couldn't think of who it was because it was such a fleeting shot of the car before it crashed into the truck that I saw the designs, but it reminded me so much of Jeff Hardy. I couldn't get Jeff Hardy out of my head. I'm like, did Jeff Hardy paint the side of this car?
Oh, God.
Over a weekend or something? I obviously knew it wasn't Jeff Hardy, but I just couldn't think of anybody else that was like artistic in that moment. I was just thinking about Jeff Hardy like making his topiaries some intricate design. No. So the Death Riders go to the valet stand, super kick a guy, grab a set of keys, and hop in the nearest vehicle because that's how it works. Right?
Yes,
you just hop
obviously.
in the SUV, just like when you go to the rental counter. They say, yeah, go in the parking lot and pick any one and super kick the guy on the way out. That's what happened to me last time I traveled.
It's standard operating procedure. It's fine.
So they are gone. They're leaving town. And then it's Darby Allin. He comes out from the wreckage, which apparently, according to Brian Alvarez, Darby Allin really did crash this car. And he was bleeding. So I almost don't want to know if he legitimately got a head laceration from a car accident or if he like crashed the car and then bladed. I just don't want to know. Because it would just be too much for me if he got a car accident and got legitimately busted open the hard way by like the steering wheel or something.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't want to know. I'll just leave it up to the magic of wrestling. But he's all bloody. He's trying to get on top of this pickup truck, and it's like jagged metal pieces of the bumper, and he's like slipping, and he can't get on top of the pickup. And they're like, Darby, get down. And now like everybody's out there. Oh, what's that guy's name? Charlie. Even like Charlie is out here, like the prop guy. And everyone's like, no, Darby. And he's like, come on, Moxley, let's finish this shit. And then it's like he's gone. You're talking to the wind. So, okay, that was how Full Gear ended. And then, no, yeah, that's it. That was it. End of broadcast. Came on my screen next. What do you think of that, Kris?
It's like, so first of all, Moxley as this character is awesome. Moxley's great. Whoa. But I'm just like, it reminds me of some like 6 months into the NWO. The whole storyline. It's like, I hope something happens. And Darby's cool. I mean, crashing a car is cool. Is he going to be the one who defeats Moxley? Because it seems like he should be, but he already lost.
He lost to Claudio. On Dynamite.
Lost to Claudio. Oh, yeah. It's just, but I feel like Moxley needs to do more. And if they're going to have Allen do that, like you can't crash into a car and be this much of a badass like Darby Allin is and then lose to Moxley. I mean, I guess you can, but I don't know. Like that's all I can think of. NWO 1990, like 8 November, or like the summer of 98 NWO. That's what I'm getting from this. I don't like it. I don't like the comparison because Moxley's so good at this role. But I don't know. The story is just kind of dragging. The story kind of like doesn't hook me. That's it. I mean, that's all I can say. I wish it was more.
Yeah. Now, I'm fine with Moxley just trying to accomplish things via beating the crap out of people. Like, that seems to be the age-old thing in wrestling. I'm going to dominate this whole place, this whole territory, this whole company by just beating everybody up all the time. That's what the NWO did, as you were saying.
Yeah.
It's really the only currency we have in wrestling. How do you dominate people? You beat everybody up, occasionally take over. But speaking of taking over, one thing that hasn't been hitting for me is this idea that Moxley is somehow taking over AEW with this stuff. Like, dude, the only thing you took over was the valet stand. You know? Like, you didn't take over the Superstation. What did they do to take over the Superstation?
Yeah.
They had a segment on the show. That's all they did. So, I mean, the NWO back in the day, they literally took over. They interrupted the commentary. They interrupted the show. One of the nights they screwed on their own logo on the Nitro like entrance. You know, I'm not saying do those exact same things, but you're advertising Moxley taking over the Superstation, and then he's just, for one, his anger. Like, he's like, I wanted to know what he was in character. What was he saying to Marina Shafir right before the match with Orange Cassidy? Why was he so angry?
Yeah.
Like, what, like, because to me, that would be part of, like, his whole motivation and his whole goal. Like, your goal is to take over. Okay, well, MVP is going around giving everybody business cards. You know, like, who are you recruiting more people? Yeah. You know, like, it's weird. It just so happens that every other story has elements of what the Moxley story is trying to achieve here. So you look at the Mox World Order story, and you're like, it's missing something, but I don't know what it is. He's saying he's angry. He's saying he's taking over AEW, and he's just brutalizing whoever is going to stick up for AEW, which so far has been Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. And and obviously Willow Nightingale and the conglomeration, right? So we got Tomohiro Ishii out here defending AEW.
Yes, classic AEW superstar.
Yep, Tomohiro Ishii. He's out here defending the honor of All Elite Wrestling, along with Kyle O'Reilly, like I said, Willow Nightingale. Poor Chuck Taylor. He's can't wrestle because they murdered him. I mean, they are taking people out for sure. And this did kind of show us that there's more challengers for Moxley, but how is Jay White a challenger for Jon Moxley? Because he came to the ring to beat up Christian, and then Claudio beat him up pretty much just because he was in the ring.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he's just a guy who's going to get beat up. He's part of AEW. And
he was kind of shouting at Pac afterwards, so I get that, right? It's like, set up a feud with Pac and Jay White. Jay White can be kind of part of. There just doesn't seem like a cohesive resistance. It seems like whoever's here this week, you know, is going to defend AEW against Moxley, and maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe we should let this play out and see what happens.
It could be, yeah. And I don't want to. You're right. Maybe I should let it play out, but I also think that, man. You got to take people out, and they have to be taken out, though. Like, I think Darby Allin should have been gone for a little while longer. I know Moxley didn't take him out, but if you're going to take someone out and beat them up, and that's how you're going to, like, reign supreme, they have to be gone. Like, Chuck Taylor, gone. That's good.
Well, he was
some of these guys be gone.
Yeah.
It's just, and I know Darby Allin's going to come out. They're trying to make him like a superstar, which he probably will be, but he should be gone longer. So it makes more, it means more when you get beat up, because everyone gets beat up every week.
Yeah, I think this crew here, the Death Riders, they need more impactful, like, opponents. But it's hard for me to say, like, who's more impactful. Obviously, Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin are two of the top baby faces in AEW, but it just it just seems like a program on the show that's trying to be more. As a heel champion, this is great. Moxley's like really. I'm like watching this match, and I'm like, this guy legitimately seems like an old school tough guy. And I don't just mean how he like acts. Like he actually comes off like an old school tough guy in a movie. He did curb stomp Orange during the match on the steps. He just seems like he will do anything. He's that brutal, and the anger and the this like brooding like viciousness that he has, it's good. It's just you're kind of alluding to something else, and I feel like they've maybe even changed course a little bit with what this larger thing might be. Maybe it's just Moxley just going to come out here and beat people up.
Yeah, which is fine, but he needs to beat up everybody too. I know the key to the conglomeration, but it needs to be like other heels have to get beat up. Maybe where's Jericho? Beat his ass too. Yeah. Get like people like that to get beat up and not come back for a little while.
Yeah, like if you are trying to change AEW, which Moxley even said in an interview, he said like that one of the producers was saying that they shouldn't worry about what's going to happen in the first match because it's not the main program or something like that. And that's in an interview. He's like criticizing AEW. So what it kind of seems to me like is that maybe AEW is making changes, right? Like maybe it's even Moxley contributing backstage. Maybe Moxley is like doing what Punk tried to do in the past, which was say like, no, don't do this over here, do that over there, enough of this crap over here. Like, I remember one time CM Punk told Marco Stunt to stand up in the ring during a segment. It's like maybe there's just little things that Moxley's like, no, we're not doing that anymore. And that's fine, but it's kind of weird that on screen you're just, like I said, beating people up. And they're like, like you said, do we really think Darby's going to be the one to beat Moxley? He could.
Yeah, he could. But now that's not soon,
He did try to kill him at Full Gear.
Good point.
With a car. And he was seemingly willing to die in the process because that car crash was not a slow-moving car crash.
No.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens with Moxley. I'm dying for more. A little bit more explanation. I mean, they've explained a significant amount, and I'm still missing something, So